Everybody, welcome back to another podcast episode. Today we talk about Heptabase. And what a ride this was in 2025. I just thought, what the heck, when they launched the AI recently that literally killed NotebookLM and even Mem, in my opinion. That is insane. And I remember very well, and I'm sure you do too, Paco, when we talked to Alan, the founder of Heptabase, and they had initially some random chatbot in there and they removed it because he said they want to make something special that actually works and that is actually, that makes sense, the integration. And now they show what this meant, and I love it. And we have quite a similar ride with our My ICOR application because there's the same. It's all coming down to the foundation. When you build an application like Heptabase or My ICOR or you name it, if you have the right foundation that you can draw out on paper, the tool agnostic approach behind all this, in our case, the ICOR methodology, in their case, how everything is connected, the definitions of the different entities inside the application to really leverage the best parts of the different PKM systems out there and make something very deeply integrated, then it pays off on the long run, for sure. And that's what we see in Heptabase now, because now they added, a month ago or 2 months ago already, the AI chatbot, right? Where you can ask questions about your PDF files. And then people said, very underwhelming. But I was expecting that there's something more coming, and this happened. And then they started with recognizing the whiteboards, and AI knew what is on the whiteboard. And then it was already on the roadmap that they understand the whole knowledge base of Heptabase, which was mind-blowing because up to this point, it was really just Mem, also Notion and so on, who had this deep integration. But the problem with tools like Notion, it is too complex, the tool. There are too many things that can confuse AI, like in ClickUp 2, the ClickUp brain. There are too many things that AI can look at. And so therefore, in the end, finds nothing. And by focusing just on personal knowledge management and your knowledge base, they made a really great job to find anything that I'm asking for from my knowledge base. And then now they have a deep integration with vector databases and embeddings that they leverage now the same way that NotebookLM does. And for all of the developers out there, it's no magic behind this NotebookLM. They just made it again the Google way, very easy to access, focusing on the best features that are nowhere else out there. And that's why it came across. But now we have it in Heptabase with no limitation to our knowledge that we want to add here. Versus in NotebookLM, you're just strictly focusing on a specific research topic. And in Heptabase, you have it all at hand now. So this is mind-blowing. What a start into 2026 for Heptabase here. Paco.
Yeah,
here too.
Really. For me, the thing is that I'm really impressed by how these guys are working, delivering, how they have make a perfect interpretation of the world of PKM. For me, the best possible, because they have synthesized everything, but they have delivered an insane amount of features without making the user feeling overwhelmed.
Correct.
And that's really difficult. I can perfectly remember when I started reading, the vision behind the tool. I highly recommend the people to look for those articles on Medium. They are quite deep, and they have been written by Alan. And I remember when I read that, I couldn't stop. I was reading, and I'm not a night owl, but I can remember that I start reading all night long those articles because he was able to communicate in plain text, what he has on his mind. And since then, they have been unbeatable, We were a little bit disappointed about how late they incorporate AI, but the moment they did it, it was in an impressive way, Instead of just going through the hype of AI, they decided to think everything in such a deepness, that it's amazing the moment that they start delivering how they have, I think that just in a matter of 1 month, 1 month and a half, 2 months. I don't know. For me, it was nothing at all. Okay, talking about the time that we were waiting for them, and it's being impressive because also how trustable this tool is. I mean, I haven't experienced glitches, problems with synchronization. Maybe at the beginning, okay, that I remember that we were interacting with the team, okay, because at the beginning the syncing feature wasn't working properly.
Wow,
But
more than 2 years ago, right? So-
Yes, correct. It was in the early day when they were starting to delivering a lot of big features. But anyway, for me, the pace is the perfect one, talking about how you can keep your user database motivated. For us, every time we press the update button, something new emerges that really resonates to the user. Okay, they deliver useful things. Okay, and it's a tool that I do love, no matter that I'm not a heavy user of it. Okay, but I interact with it every single day, not as my main PKM tool, but I'm following these guys and also all the releases, all the posts on social media, and all the connections that we have with this team. And it's simply amazing, and congratulations for them. And I'm really happy also because we talk a lot about Heptabase, but I think that there hasn't been an exception talking about any of our members that we have recommended this tool that they get disappointed. Okay, the learning curve was almost nothing. Okay, and the moment that you start, I think that the moment that you start interacting with the tool is the moment that you start receiving real added value from a tool without any friction at all. And for me, that's a miracle, taking into account how difficult it is, the PKM world and PKM software. So amazing, and congratulations for these guys.
Yeah, correct. The thing is, I just checked it in my ICOR, in the ICOR tool finder. We have 122 people using Heptabase from 565, but not everybody laid out their tool stack yet. This being said, different perspective, it is placed first in the PKM tools. By far, compared to the other PKM tools, the next one would be then Apple Notes, surprisingly. And
Wow.
Then we see, let's see. Heptabase, Readwise Reader. No, not true. Heptabase, Apple Notes, Readwise Reader. And then we have Notion, Obsidian, Tana, all these in this order. Evernote is really behind in the meantime. So this is actual data from our members. And this shows that, we are not the only ones who using it. It's not promotion or it's not sponsored by Heptabase. The whole thing is always sponsored by our members, by being part of the My ICOR membership and the Paperless movement. And this is all we have to say here. And when we go to the chat, I just saw that Marco posted in the chat. Let me go back. Not only Marco posted in the chat, not only they added full space rack, they also released the MCP, that you can connect any MCP capable assistant to search and also create notes. For those who don't know what MCP is, in short, you can connect it to your ChatGPT, to your Claude, to external AI tools, and allow AI from an external place to access and even interact with your tool from outside. So you have a ChatGPT conversation, you have great insights, and then you just simply tell ChatGPT, write the conclusion of our conversation into a new node inside Heptabase. And again, what a game changer and how ahead of the time they are. It is not much magic, but they made it, right? And they positioned it and they make it easy to access. Now, in the meantime, Heptabase also allows using AI without bringing in your own API key to make it accessible as possible as well. And this is amazing. And then Marco keeps writing, I use it with Alter AI and Raycast, and it's amazing. Well, this is amazing. Raycast, well, Paco and we love using Raycast. And if you look at our tool stack in my ICOR, you see it, that we're both using it. And Raycast is the finder replacement or the search finder. What is it called? It's the original one on Mac when you search for apps and things like that. Raycast replaces
Spotlight.
Oh, the Spotlight. Exactly. The Spotlight. So Raycast replaces this, and you can integrate it with other tools. And this means what Marco shares here is that you just open your Spotlight, in this case Raycast, and ask questions about your knowledge base in Heptabase, and it finds the notes and it can open up these notes. I haven't looked into the MCP integration yet, but I use a lot of MCP integrations in other ways. So I cannot wait to test this out, and obviously I will make a video about this. So, and then he keeps writing, when I'm in a meeting, I can ask where we talk about feature X, and it does respond quickly. Now I'm trying to send my meeting transcripts too. So Tom and Paco, you did good. You gave a good advice. Heptabase does provide for the majority, and let's say majority of busy professionals, right? It's obviously it is made by students, maybe for students you could think, or for researchers, but this is the easiest to adapt tool for busy professionals out there. And that's what we saw 2 years ago when we started the first inner circle coaching. You know, people always ask, what tools should we use? What should we use? And we ended up always saying, start with Heptabase because it has all the features, but it's not so complex as other tools. And if you really hit a ceiling in a certain area, then you can move on to another tool that we are not all using. I'm using only Heptabase and PKM combined with Readwise Relator app, and Paco is using Tana mainly. So there we go, okay? So he's using a different tool because he has a different use case and hits a ceiling in Heptabase that he uses a different tool for. But before you even know what the ceiling is, you have to understand the capabilities of these tools, and there's Heptabase by far the easiest to learn, the biggest return of investment when you just put in your knowledge there and see immediately insights into the things that you never saw before. And now with the combination of AI that you just throw PDF files and whatever in there, and you get insights immediately. To me, that's a no-brainer. When anybody asks now, what PKM tool should I use? Yeah, go with Heptabase because you get it all, literally. You get it all what you need for personal knowledge management.
Yes, and also note-taking, because Heptabase doesn't fall short, and that's also something important, okay? Because I'm surprised, okay, by the stat coming from our ICOR tool finder, okay? Because I didn't expect that Apple Notes was going to be the second one. But the point is that I cannot imagine, first off, Apple Notes is not a PKM tool, okay? It's a note-taking app, okay? And it will fall short pretty quickly for any busy professionals, okay? The way that you can connect the things and, many essential features, talking about PKM, okay? The most basic features, it's impossible. I know that many people defend that they are using Apple Notes for everything, but I think that that's because it's a simple life, I would say, okay? The moment that you really want to generate action out of your information, you need a PKM system and a proper tool, okay? And the moment that you start comparing Apple Notes or any other simple note-taking tool with Heptabase or, Notion, any other, it's impossible, okay? The thing is finding that sweet spot. That's what Heptabase was able to deliver, okay? Create something simple enough to avoid people start working and interacting with the tool without any friction pretty quickly, okay? And especially, here, if you go through our Heptabase Mastery course, you will, I cannot express how fast you will be amazed by all the different features that they have implemented in such an impressive way that I cannot describe. Yeah. But the thing is that, and that's the miracle, and the Heptabase is creating something that delivers a lot of features. For instance, Tom is a heavy user, and I'm convinced that he still has a lot to go, okay, with that tool, okay? It didn't fall short at any moment. And for me, that's something, okay, because it's, quote, pretty easy to create something that never falls short, but that it's super complicated, okay? And then that's, for instance, the example of Tana, okay? Tana is super powerful, but what the heck, man, the learning curve, everything is full of obstacles for most of the people, obviously, and I'm a defender of that tool because I'm using it daily, but when I start comparing, okay, the ROI from one tool to the other, it has no comparison possible. It has no comparison possible.
And beware, I just said Apple Notes is on second position, but this, you always have to read statistics correctly. This could mean that people use, in addition to Heptabase, Apple Notes too, right? So if people use both in their tool stack, it shows up too, and then we would need to filter further to see the unique use cases and things like that. But that being said, that's a legit way to use it. You can use Apple Notes along with Heptabase if you are the handwriting person and you want to sit in a meeting and take your handwritten notes. But beware, then you better learn the ICOR methodology and know what routines means and processing your intermediate notes into your final destination. And all these things will help you then to use both tools in parallel without duplicating and scattering information. That's the danger using two different tools. And we have seen it with AI. I know on their roadmap, they have still sitting there, the handwriting capability coming to Heptabase too. And if they do this, I don't know what Apple Notes will then still have to deliver here, because accessibility is also beyond Apple Notes. The moment I'm not on a Mac, I have a hard time to really use my notes. I can view it in a browser, but this is it. There's not so much going on. And having a tool like Heptabase on the outside, I can move on to other systems, to other companies, collaborating. And that's the beauty, having then only the personal knowledge management inside this tool and not trying to have everything in one tool. That makes it, that brings to the point where Paco said, I'm not using it to the full extent. And Paco is not using Tana to the full extent, because we only use the things that really makes us more efficient. And all the other things are managed by other tools. So, for example, I don't use the databases inside Heptabase. I don't use the tagging system and things like that. I know how it works. I see the potential there, but I'm using other tools where this information is much easier to access. Well, in fact, for example, CRM, right? You can build easily, if I start out as a solopreneur or entrepreneur on my own, and I have some clients, I might make a CRM system to manage my clients in there and have an overview of these people. The moment you start getting a lot more customers, this is not the solution. You need to have collaboration features and all this. And even that Heptabase provides this in some extent, it's not really a business knowledge management tool, and therefore we've built our custom made, but we used ClickUp before that, and before that it was Notion. That is a whole other things. And by separating, or first understanding the different types of information for yourself, personal versus the team information that you need to share, you already get a different perspective on the tools what are available out there, and you start using one tool just for your personal knowledge and then another tool for the team knowledge. And that gives you such a peace of mind. Again, getting back to the example, switching companies, moving on, you will take along your personal thoughts and nobody can take it away, and leave the team knowledge behind where it belongs, to the old company, for example, and can use a different tool in the future for this business knowledge management. And that makes it really powerful and flexible once you get the full scope of a productivity system end to end in a tool agnostic way. That's what we teach you guys in ICOR. That makes you so flexible to use whatever tool combination you need to have the most efficient productivity system available.
Yeah, and I was thinking about our tool stack that mainly for Tom and myself is exactly the same, okay? And how long the good tools that we have being within our tool stack, okay? If I think about Todoist, Tana, Superhuman, I don't know, all our tool stack, ClickUp, for instance, how long we've been betting on this tool? Well, day one, 1Password, I don't know, too many tools that we have been evolving with them, okay? Because that's the beautiful thing. When you bet on tools that you understand the vision, okay, how they are designed, why they are designed that way, it's really, okay, and how you see that they are evolving, okay, because this is something that didn't happen, for instance, with Evernote, okay, that had like a stop, I cannot remember how long ago, maybe 3-4 years ago when the Rome approach appeared, they didn't make that evolution, okay? And then they get stuck, okay? And with that, people, and the two of us, for instance, had to look for some other approaches like Rome or Mem at that moment.
Well, at that moment,
exactly
first
the same,
there was Obsidian, right? So for all of those who say, but you have no clue about Obsidian, Parker and I, we've both been heavy user or power users of Obsidian back then.
Well, I have to say that on Medium, they're still one of the most read articles there, man. Talking about Obsidian, man, that I spent 1.5 years. And by the way, I enjoyed it a lot, no matter that I end up concluding that it wasn't the right tool for me and for busy professionals. That's something that I will always defend, okay, that position. I think that for busy professional, that's not the right tool, okay? Being said that, anyone can do whatever they think, okay? But if I compare Obsidian versus Heptabase, it's impossible to compare. They are so different approaches that it's impossible and unfair, okay, to start comparing, because they are beautiful and amazing tools. But the thing is, thinking about busy professionals, what are the tools that we recommend, okay? And we can see that the moment that we recommend or we share tools and approaches and things like that resonate with busy professionals, they start using them and they keep using them, okay? We have seen many cases, no matter the tools, even for instance with Tana, okay? We have people, thanks to ICOR, have changed it, how they approach the tool, and with that approach, and they have been able to keep betting on that tool in a total different way. And that's important too, no? To understand that based on the workflows and concepts that you are using, you can change completely the interaction and how you use a tool and the benefits that you get from it.
Correct. And that's really what you said. For busy professionals, it's not that there are not busy professionals who don't get the point how to use Obsidian. We refer to that busy professionals are busy with other things and they're already overwhelmed to catch up with their work. And then they go into the productivity rabbit hole on YouTube and they get recommended tools like Obsidian, Notion, and so on. And then they invest even more time because they think it's worth it, the return of investment, into learning that tool. And that's where we say, no, start using Heptabase, because the learning curve is so low that you immediately start getting benefits the moment you start using it. And then when you think you're ready, you can then discover other tools like Obsidian or whatever, because you know what you need and what your best version would look like. That's the reason when they say, man, how can you compare Heptabase with Obsidian? I can build this amazing thing in Obsidian. That's great. But if you have no clue how to build a productivity system in the first place, then, you just start copy pasting or downloading templates from other people's lives, and they never will fit your specific life. Yeah. And that's the key reason here.
I wonder why you need to build, for me, it's something that, I've been a developer for 20 years. So imagine, I love building, but the moment that you are in charge of too many things is the time to outsource, okay, that building process. I don't want to build. I want people building for me, and I will be very happy to invest on those products, okay, because they improve my performance, my status, my state of calm. I don't know, too many things that good tools bring to the table. And that's whenever I look at and interact with our tool stack, I always say the same, man, I am where I am due to my tool stack, for sure. Okay, it brings me clarity, it brings me control, it brings me power, it brings me the information where I need, it helps my decision-making process. All those things, all those assets that any busy professional needs to be already built. Okay, that's the thing. I don't know why. Okay, if you have time, you're a coder, a developer. That's a totally different approach to productivity tools. Okay, and how they approach and why they love to have everything. For instance, on Obsidian, on people who are really feel much better when they think about that local file storage, all those things, okay, and they love to do versioning using GitHub or whatever through their files. But what the heck, when I think in a marketing and engineer, any type of professional, okay, dedicating time to those things, because we have to think that there's a trade-off, okay? The moment that you start dedicating time to build things, you are not dedicating time to some other things. So you have to make a reflection, okay, to decide and choose if it's worth it or not your time, because I think that the opportunity cost is huge, okay? It's huge, and that's something, that's why even in tools like Tana, I think that my implementation is one of the simplest possible, okay? I didn't go into the nitty gritty, okay? For me, it's a outliner on steroids, okay? And that's how I interpret that thing. But that's it, okay? That's it. I just use it for note taking, okay, to think, okay, because it's a PKM tool. I don't use Heptabase for thinking unless it's too complex, the thing, or for a specific use cases, okay? And that's the tool that helps me to think, but not based on a complicated setup, okay, that I dedicate time to maintain, to change, that the moment that I've never been into that nitty gritty, and I receive many technical questions or whatever about Tana, and I say, well, I cannot give you advice. I can recommend you. Well, I have pretty good relationships with experts, real experts on Tana, okay? And they have amazing setups, okay, because they have gone through that approach that it's, well, one that Tana really shines, okay, because it's so flexible that allows you to do everything. But for people who their main goal is not building these type of tools, well, we even find people with problems using tools like ClickUp. So imagine Tana, that for me is even much more complex, okay? How you're gonna suffer, how you're gonna waste time, energy, all the frustration process, because it's pretty easy to see the current setups of specific people and think that you can build that on, or that that's gonna be useful for you, a specific use case. And at the end, most of those people end up frustrated, okay? They blame the tool even, okay? The company, whatever, because they are not using that tool as it was expected, or they are going into trying to find that and take advantage of the endless features that this type of tool has, instead of just saying, well, I will use just 50% because I know that that 50% is not covered at all, okay, by any other tool. And that's the right approach, not just with Tana, but with any tool, okay? And that's my recommendation to people. And the moment that people follow this type of advice, I think that they improve their performance because they free up time to dedicate to the things that matter, okay? That for busy professionals, I think that is not building complex, setups on tools, because tools are means to an end. And I think that that's the main principle, okay? And the moment that it's not a means, it's just a way of consuming resources, maybe that's not the right tool for you.
Yeah, and Marco in the membership echoes all this. So he says, speed. Busy professionals have limited time. A tool must enable instantaneous actions without lengthy setup. Adaptability. It should be flexible and customizable with just a few clicks, allowing it to adjust quickly to different workflows. Ease of use. Avoiding complex logic or advanced settings reduces the learning curve and boosts adoption. How well this is summed up. Thank you so much, Marco. And then he keeps saying, we don't have a lot of time. We certainly can't dedicate that time to configure something instead of working. The mantra is work in the tool, not working on the tool. The opposite than being a business owner, right? There you should work on the business and not in the business. Perfect. Guys, What a great session today. And we will keep going. And thanks for being a member in the chat and then joining us there. We catch you guys up next week then.
Yeah, I would like to end up by saying that we have, this is the first podcast session that we use our amazing new learning platform, okay? And for me, it's beautiful. Sorry, it's not because we made it. It's because it's really beautiful, and I'm enjoying a lot seeing this miracle, okay? Because this has been a miracle, not only thinking about this tool, but dedicating time to build it, okay? But it was necessary, okay? Now we are seeing the impressive outcomes, okay, that we are. And this is just the beginning, okay? We have launched it in just 1 month, Okay, so you can imagine in the next coming month, and I would like to publicly appreciate and thank Tom by the amazing and insane effort that he has done to make of a crazy idea something that it's tangible, okay, and that all our members are enjoying, even for free. That it's important, okay, because even for free you can get an idea of what this is all about. So congratulations, and so proud of share this with all our members and followers and all the people who belong to the movement. Okay, so it's a great day for all of us.
Thanks so much, Paco, for mentioning. And obviously, impossible without the two of us to pull all this off, because as I said initially when starting the session today, it's all based on the foundation that we've built together and set in stone with the ICOR Journey book. So impossible to build a tool like this without this foundation. And 2026, guys, will be amazing for all of us. See you inside my ICOR.
See you guys. Thank you so much.